365 Radio.
Purdy escapes, throws downfield, and intercepted. Jalen Barnes comes up with it. Their best cover corner has a broken thumb.
The 4 o'clock hour is sponsored by Boozer's Jewelers, the wedding ring store, specializing in custom jewelry and repair, all in-house. Here's David Smoke and Paul Catalina.
All right, here we are this 4 o'clock hour. At 4:45, Courtney Clary, Staff Sergeant, U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, will join us on what they have going right now. That's at 4:45. Also, we're going to replay the interview with Nikki Collin that we had from earlier this week on the day she was introduced to Baylor in the country. That will be at 5:30. And then also today, a few more notes that we'll have along the way throughout the show. But it is Mother's Day weekend, and we have a special guest, 2 of them. We have Jacqueline Griffin, the mother of Robert Griffin III, Heisman Trophy winner, NFL veteran as well, Baylor, of course, graduate. She joins us on Zoom, Jacqueline Griffin on Zoom, and also Robert Griffin III by phone. And one of the few times we'll start with, instead of Robert, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, your thoughts about Mother's Day, what it means to you. And I know you have an organization that you've developed. We'll get to that in a minute. But just the weekend itself and what it means to you and mothers.
Well, for me, it's all about family. And Mother's Day is special to me because I get to spend time with my kids and grandkids. And I love cooking. And so it's just a week of, this has been a week of planning and wanting to be with them and spend time with them as always. So for me, Mother's Day is really all about my kids and my grandkids.
Robert, I know, just from, following your career and covering you as long as we did, I know your relationship with your mother. She was pretty tight with you. What's she like as a grandmother? I imagine she's pretty much all pro, isn't she?
Oh, I mean, can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
All right, I'm outside down here in Florida enjoying some of this hot weather. But yeah, my mom, her grandkids love her because she doesn't do what she did for me and my sisters. She gives them every single thing that they could possibly imagine. She gives them candy whenever they ask for it, lets them watch TV all day, play games on the phone. But she's doing what grandparents do, right? And she's, the kids love her when they see her, all of her grandkids. And that's just the type of person that she has always been. Even when she was showing us tough love and helping us, raise us to be the people that we are today, we always knew that she had our best interests at heart, and that's what makes her a great mom.
Jacqueline, did you keep things away from Robert and company? I mean, there's something like no candy bars, no candy. What's going on with this?
Well, I was very strict about their diet and making sure that they had a nutritional, diet, because there were certain things that they had to do, especially as athletes, the 2 youngest ones, Robert and Dejan. So it was important to make sure that their diet matched, their athleticism so that they could produce. So yes, I was very strict about what they ate and, television and all of those things. We were very strict, but we were a military family. Yeah. And so we had to have that structure and discipline. Now I'm a grandmother and I'm not in the military anymore.
Well, hey, look, it works.
Guys, before you ask the next question, let me just go ahead and paint the picture for you, okay? say you're a 13-year-old kid, young man, and you're going to a track meet this summer. And you pull up to Mickey D's and you're thinking, man, I'm going to get a big breakfast, maybe a big breakfast with some hot cakes and some syrup and a hash brown. And your mom tells you that you can only have eggs. Mickey D's doesn't even have eggs on the menu. So we would pull up to McDonald's and my parents would ask for 3 side orders of eggs. And you had to go to a track meet for 10 hours on 3 side orders of eggs. That's what they made us do. That's what they put us through. But I tell you what, that type of discipline and structure is really what pushed us to become exactly what we were as athletes. I'm just glad that I can go to Mickey D's and enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
So at Halloween, would she say like, listen, no Hershey bars. Do you have like apples and oranges in there you can throw in this bag?
We definitely did that a couple of years, but as the years went on, I would say early on we weren't doing the summer track and field, travel basketball, all of that, the 7-on-7 football. Early on, they used to take us on trips all the time, so Halloween was actually enjoyable. We got to eat all the candy in the world and be sick the next day like every other kid in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those candy apples as well. They still do that?
I don't know.
Halloween's changed a little bit. Jacqueline, one, you have to defend yourself. You have to absolutely defend yourself on this stuff with Mickey D's.
Well, you see, you can't, like you have a fine car and you want it to perform at its highest peak performance.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you have to put that premium gasoline in there. And so, to perform, him and his sister, to perform their best at their track meets, volleyball games, basketball games, football, they had to have that premium fuel. And that was those eggs.
Robert, when you did your Heisman...
They didn't feed us gasoline, guys. I just want you to know they did not feed us gasoline.
Although, listen,
that'll spread like wildfire.
Hey, I watched some of your high school track meets,
Yeah.
Robert. If you had told me you drank gasoline, I would have been like, all right.
Yeah. Well, now, during your Heisman speech, when you went something about iron sharpens iron or whatever that is, I think you should have brought something into the mix with McDonald's or a Halloween candy. That would have been perfect right there. Oh,
I'm pretty sure Mickey D's would have probably tried to give me a sponsorship, but who knows? Maybe this interview will give us one.
Yeah, well, we surely should now. Jacqueline, you have a nonprofit that you're doing, Moms Motivating Moms. It's MMM3. Your thoughts about that and your organization and mothers and helping them as well.
Well, actually, I am president of the RGIII Foundation, and Moms Motivating Moms falls underneath that umbrella. Mm-hmm. And with Moms Motivating Moms, it's just another thing that we do at the RGIII Foundation and reaching out to help others. Moms Motivating Moms is just all the knowledge and wisdom and experience that I've had over the years. I want to pass it on to other mothers so that they can understand the importance of their role in being there for their children. We have to be intentional and purposeful when we're doing things for our kids. And so a lot of times I had to go out there and find the information that I needed for my kids as far as education, athletics, or anything that they needed to do so they could be successful in their dreams and aspirations. And so instead of keeping all of that knowledge to myself, Moms Motivating Moms, my son was so generous enough to allow me to bring that under the RGIII Foundation umbrella so that we can use that as well as another tool and initiative to help others.
So do you have kind of maybe a one-stop shop for people for motivational tools and just little things like that to where they can figure that out, especially if they're new parents or haven't had to go to a little league or whatever your educational things before?
Absolutely. They can go to the Robert Griffin III Foundation and they can click under partnerships, and then they can see everything they need to know about Moms Motivating Moms, but also they can see everything that we are doing in the foundation with helping veterans, with helping impoverished youth, with our all of our initiatives. We are really very, very involved in the community, and we want to make sure that we make an impact and use the platform that God has provided Robert with. And so as a result of that, I have the platform to use to help our foundation help others.
Well, that's awesome. Robert, what's it like to be able to, and of course, from the time you won the Heisman to what you did and what you've done in the NFL, and hopefully what you'll continue to do in the NFL as well, whether you do or not, to have this foundation, to do all the things, to have your mother involved, and also helping people who need it?
Yeah, guys, I would say, just to piggyback off of what my mom said, I think it's important to understand where you came from. I think that's what my parents instilled in me the most, that, when you do make it, because, as a parent, I'm a parent now, I strongly believe you have to speak it into existence and speak power into your children. And that's what my parents did for me. So when they told me, hey, when you make it, don't forget where you came from, I took that to heart. And, I've been blessed to have great people around me to be able to set up the foundation and be able to go out in the community and give back. And it's not just about giving money, right? Earlier this year, we gave a bunch of meals during the the massive winter storm in Texas, it's not just about giving money or giving meals. We want to be able to give people the tools to be successful. And I think when it comes to my success, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for that family structure, if it wasn't for my mom and my dad. And whether you have a 2-parent household or a 1-parent household, your kids should strive to give their children more than you gave them. And I think that's what my mom and dad really instilled in us. And my mom was the gatekeeper there because she was the one that was the most present in our lives, because my dad was off doing tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, trying to going out there and sacrificing for his country. Whereas my mom, after her 13 years in service, she was at home. She was the one taking us to the game. She was the one taking us to the practices, filming everything and showing it to my dad. And I think parents have to understand that they are one of the biggest factors in their children's lives, and what you speak to your children becomes a reality. So it's been great to be able to work with my mom and to see the great things that she's going to do and continue to do through the foundation. But we want to give people the tools to help their children be successful. And sometimes that's just speaking a positive word. Sometimes that's giving your time. Sometimes that is giving money. But we want to also give them the tools to be successful.
Jacqueline, Mother's Day, there's, obviously everything's about that, right? I know you're a great father figure, great parents, great grandparents and family around you or friends or whatever. But there's just always something about Mother's Day and what it means to children and what it means to the mother. You think Mother's Day means more to the mother or the children who have great mothers?
You're asking me?
Yes, ma'am. Well,
I personally, for me, Mother's Day means more to me than anything, because my kids and my grandkids are my world. And so it means everything to me. And it's not about what they give me. It's just the fact that I know that they're okay, that they're prosperous, they're doing well. And that right there is the greatest gift that they could ever give me.
Robert, you want to send a little go ahead Mother's Day wish to Jacqueline?
I'll answer the question that you asked my mom about, great mothers, or does it mean more to the mothers? My wife, she's a mother to three kids, to three girls, and I think it means the world to mothers, because they go through that process of having to carry the kid for 9-10 months, and they go through the process of labor, and they're the ones who go through, whether it be the postpartum depression or having to try to lose the baby weight, or all the stress that comes with when you lay the baby down and you're so used to carrying them around, and maybe you have those moments of, oh my gosh, where's my baby? Is my baby okay? So I think as they see their children grow and they see the appreciation for their kids, it means the most to them. Being a father now, I get to watch my daughters and how they're attached to mom for the first 2 years of their life, and then for the next couple of years they're attached to dad. And sometimes mothers feel like, man, I want my kids to always be there. And I think that that presence of appreciation and when kids can show that appreciation to the moms, I think that means the most to them. So when it comes to my mom, I think I can speak for my 2 older sisters as well. We're just extremely grateful that she was our mom, that she was the one that helped keep us in line, that has supported us, our entire lives, not just financially, obviously, when we're living under their roof, but emotionally, spiritually. She taught us to be God-fearing kids, and we grew up in the church, but it's all about building that relationship with God. And I think that she's been a great example of that for us. So I just want to say happy Mother's Day to my mom, the glue to our family, the one who kept us all together, kept us all in line. And sometimes when we didn't agree with dad and the military drill lineman work that we had to do, running up and down Griffin Hill, pulling tires, throwing footballs, all that stuff, she was the one that kept me motivated and kept me in line to say, look, this stuff is going to help you in the future, honor your father. And by doing that, I also was able to honor my mother. So it's a happy Mother's Day to you, Mom.
Well, that's a great way to put it. Jacqueline, one other thing, if you don't mind, how hard is it or how difficult was it to be a mother of someone who was having the kind of attention and also wins a Heisman Trophy, number 2 pick in the draft, NFL career? Was that fun? Was it always joyful, or was that sometimes something that was emotional and tough?
No, for us, for me, it was joyful and it was fun, because the groundwork was laid, that structure and that discipline of knowing who you are and knowing your why, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, and being successful each step of the way. So it was fun. We had so much fun. And Robert has always been grounded. And so because of that, it made it easier. The transitioning from each level to each level made it so much easier. So I would say that because the foundation was laid at such a young age, he was able to stay focused on his why and stay, humble and continue on his journey, because he's not done yet. There's a whole lot left for him to do.
Oh, there's no question about it. Robert, the draft is over. Last question for you. The draft is over. Do you still sit there and kind of have some nibbles? What's going on possibly with your future in the NFL?
Yeah, talking to teams currently, my agent doing that whole deal. We were waiting until after the draft to see how things kind of played out. And, I can't really speak too much on, what teams are negotiating with and stuff like that. But I've talked to my parents, talked to my wife. My desire is to play football. I want to play football. I love the game. I want to give back, and that's my passion right now. And I'll play until they tell me I can't play anymore. That's just the way that I view it. And I think my mom talking about knowing your why. I think that's why she said it's been enjoyable. This whole process has been enjoyable because you learn a lot about yourself. And when I was out of the league in 2017, I learned a lot about myself and what I feel like I'm called to do in this world. And obviously that's to inspire. To go out and show people that no matter what happens to you, the only thing that matters is your response. And I think that's been a story of my entire career, even, from high school through college, tearing my ACL in college, coming back and being able to help lead Baylor to what we were able to do. And then going to the pros and having the successful run there in the beginning of my career and then running into injuries. And then, 4 years in, people are thinking, oh, it's over. And now we're looking at 8 years later and I'm still going. So it's been a joy. And as long as you know your why, you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can endure anyhow. So I think that's my message to the people out there who are asking, what do I want to do for my future in football? Guess what, guys? I still want to play ball. And when I get that call, I'll be ready to roll.
I know you will be, and good luck with that. Robert Griffin III, we thank you. Jacqueline Griffin, we appreciate you. Again, it's the RG3 Foundation, Moms Motivating Moms. Robert, thank you. Jacqueline, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and enjoy the weekend wherever you're at.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Robert. Jacqueline, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Moms Motivating Moms in Mother's Day weekend. We appreciate them for joining the show. Coming up, there was the story, and Paul mentioned this, closing out the story of the show on Wednesday. Jerry Johnson, the longtime voice of the Baylor Golden Wave Band.